What if I told you that your money isn't really yours? That the cash in your bank account can be legally frozen, reclassified, or even seized without any warning whatsoever. And it's happening right now to entrepreneurs, to tech founders, and even public figures. Joe Rogan just exposed this shocking reality on his podcast, and today we're gonna be diving in to break it down for you. On this video, I'm gonna reveal the dangers of the banking system, explain why your money isn't as safe as you think it is when you put it in the bank, and I'm gonna introduce you to the solution, which is the vault, a strategy that keeps your wealth untouchable. Now, if you care about your financial future, you're not gonna wanna miss this one, so let's dive in. Hey there, my friends. My name is Ryan D. Lee, and you are on the Wealth Outside of Wall Street YouTube channel. And by definition, the purpose of this channel is to empower you with your money, to take back control and to use it to achieve financial freedom in 10 years or less. Now listen, part of the financial system that most of us grew up with is the banking system. And inherently, because it's omnipresent in our world, most of us naively believe that banks are the safest place to store our money. But here's the truth. The moment that you deposit money into the bank, you've lost control. And the concept of your money turns into the bank's money. In an instant, your money in the form of deposits becomes the bank's asset. And in 2024, there have been some pretty crazy things going on that you need to be aware about when it comes to the banking industry and your money. The first thing I want to start off with is a new concept that was just revealed on Joe Rogan's podcast. Honestly, when it was revealed on his podcast, I was shocked that this was even happening right now, but it's a concept called debanking. If you've never heard of it before, buckle up, because Joe Rogan recently interviewed Mark Andreessen, a Silicon Valley legend, who revealed the shocking truth about Operation Choke Point 2.0. And in this revelation, he talked about what debanking is. Debanking is when you or your business are cut off from the financial system. No bank accounts, no credit cards, no payment processors, nothing. You are completely cut off from all forms of banking.
This thing called Operation Choke Point, where they decided to, as marijuana started to become legal, as prostitution started to become legal, and then guns, which there's always a fight about. Under the Obama administration, they started to debank legal marijuana businesses, escort businesses, and then gun shops, just like your gun manufacturers, and just like you're done, you're out of the banking system. And so if you're running a medical marijuana dispensary in 2012, like you, guess what? You're doing your business all in cash, because you literally can't get a bank account, you can't get a Visa terminal, you can't process transactions, you can't do payroll, you can't do direct deposit, you can't get insurance. Like none of that stuff is, you've been sanctioned, right? None of that stuff is available. And then this administration extended that concept to apply it to tech founders, crypto founders, and then just generally political opponents. So that's been like super pernicious. And
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, 100%. And this is called, so it was Operation Choke Point 1.0 was 15 years ago against the pot and the guns. Choke Point 2.0 is primarily against their political enemies and then to their disfavored tech startups. And it's hit the tech world like we've had like 30 founders debanked in the last 4 years.
Really?
Yeah. It's been a big recurring pattern.
30.
This is one of the reasons why we ended up supporting Trump. It's like we can't live in this world. We can't live in a world where somebody starts a company that's a completely legal thing and then they literally like get sanctioned, right, and embargoed by the United States government through a completely unaccountable, no due process. None of this is written down. There's no rules. There's no court. There's no decision process. There's no appeal. Who do you appeal to, right? Like who do you go to get your bank account back?
And it can happen for reasons as vague as your politics, your industry, or even just being on the wrong side of government pressure. Some recent examples of people who've been debanked that we've all likely at least heard about was number one, Kanye West. Kanye West lost access to his accounts with JP Morgan Chase overnight. Over the last 4 years, 30 crypto founders have been debanked without any warning whatsoever. Legal businesses like gun shops and marijuana dispensaries have been targeted for years. And here's the scariest part. There's literally nothing you or I or anyone can do about it. There is no due process. There is no appeal. One day you're fine and the next you're completely out. Your accounts are frozen, you're locked out, and you can do nothing with credit cards, bank transfers, or anything like that. You have lost all control over what you previously thought was your money. And it's happening behind closed doors with zero accountability. So even if you're not debanked, there's another massive problem: fractional reserve banking. This is the system that banks use to handle your money, and it's not what you think. And it's happening to every single one of us. Let's say you deposit $10,000 into your bank account. You'd think that the bank is holding on to that $10,000 for you, right? Well, this couldn't be further from the truth. The banks are only required to keep a fraction of that $10,000, often as little as 10% in reserve. The rest, it's immediately loaned out, it's invested, and it's used to generate profits for the bank. What this means is that if all of us decided to withdraw our money all at the same time, the bank literally doesn't have it. They don't even have a fraction of it. And this concept is called a run on the bank, and it's happened before. Remember in 2008, we came dangerously close to a complete collapse. A run on a bank would happen if all of us decided to point to the charade of the banking industry and say, we want our money back. My friends, this is happening to all of our accounts with all of our money all the time. And my friends, it doesn't stop there. It's not just debanking, it's not fractional reserve banking, it's also bank scandals. Now, this is not theoretical either. Recent headlines have shown banks withholding funds, charging unjust fees, and even losing customers' money. When you deposit money in a bank, you're trusting that system, and it's inherently fragile and designed to prioritize the bank and definitely not you. Here's just a couple of the many examples. When I was researching this, there were hundreds of examples. And Bank of America by far had the most infractions out of any bank. Here's just one of them. Bank of America recently settled for $21 million due to improper wire transfer fees. JP Morgan Chase, $151 million settlement over misleading brokerage disclosures. Almost every single bank has been targeted by the judicial system for unjust and oftentimes undisclosed overdraft bank fees. My friends, the banking industry is not what you and I think. So I want you to imagine this instead. What if there was a place where your money wasn't just safe, it was untouchable by everyone else except you? A place where your cash could grow consistently, tax-free, and still be available whenever you needed it. A system that wasn't tied to the banking industry, fractional reserve lending, or government overreach. A system where you could never be debanked, meaning your account could not just be canceled because you sat on the wrong side of the political aisle. This is where the vault comes in. First and foremost, the vault, it's not a bank account, and it's not tied to Wall Street. It's a financial fortress designed to give you total control over your money while protecting it from the risks of the traditional financial system. Take a moment and imagine having an account where this was possible. First, you had 100% guaranteed growth. You knew that your money would grow every single year. Not only that, it would grow tax-free with a guaranteed rate of return no matter what happened in the market. And on top of that, you would receive dividends from companies that have been profitable and paying dividends to their account holders for 150 years straight. No matter what happened through world wars and recessions, dividends have been paid for 150 years straight. Next, you would have ultimate privacy and security. Unlike a bank account, the vault operates through a private contract. No one can freeze it, no one can seize it, or reclassify it. It's yours entirely, protected by contract law. While your money is in this account, you're protected and shielded from all forms of risk. The vault is immune to inflation, lawsuits, creditors, and even government interference. It's the ultimate safe haven for your wealth. And on top of all of this, you would have 100% complete liquidity. When you need cash, you can withdraw that cash, or the vault actually opens up a very unique opportunity for someone that wants to be a little bit more savvy with their money, for someone that wants their money to do multiple things at the same time. Rather than withdrawing your cash from this unique account, you could actually leverage the value of it via a line of credit. If you have $50,000 in that account, you can have a line of credit of $50,000. And what this does for you is it keeps your money compounding in your account while giving you access to leverage the value of it via the line of credit for your short-term goals. This singular concept is called dual compounding, and it makes your money do multiple jobs at the exact same time. Now, my friends, I want you to imagine having your money in one of these type of accounts. What would be possible for you? What foundation of certainty would you be standing on? And due to this certainty, how would this allow you to operate in the world where the only previous option that you had was banks? Banks are the ones that we just talked about that are debanking you, that are leveraging your capital to make money for themselves, and are charging you behind the scenes likely unjust fees. This puts the control back in your court. So what is the vault? The vault is an overfunded whole life insurance policy. Now, it's not a typical life insurance policy. It's a policy designed to maximize your cash value, minimize your life insurance, but keep it qualified as life insurance. That's the key to the tax code. When your policy qualifies as life insurance, you get unparalleled tax benefits. This is what allows you to have your money growing and compounding tax-free. The vault is quite literally a powerhouse, a place that you can store your capital with complete certainty. So let me break it down for you. This isn't as simple as buying a standard life insurance policy from your local agent. The Vault is a specialized product purposely engineered to maximize cash value while minimizing the traditional cost of life insurance. I'm going to include a separate video that goes into way more detail on what I'm about to say, but for the Vault, here's what I want you to understand. The objective is to minimize the death benefit. With the Vault, we purchase the smallest amount of death benefit necessary to keep the policy legally qualified as life insurance according to IRS regulations. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why would I want to buy the least amount of death benefit if I'm buying a life insurance contract? Because the less money that goes towards life insurance costs means more money gets to go directly towards your cash value, where it works for you immediately. So this is where strategic overfunding comes in. I want you to think about it like a private account where you decide how much money you want to deposit up front and then ongoing. This can include your savings, your reserves, your windfalls, or even profits from your business. By overfunding the policy, the bulk of your deposits, called premiums, go directly into building your cash value. This is the money that is now compounding, this is the money that is now accessible, and this is the money that is the equity inside of your account. Much like how you manage cash flow through a bank, you design the Vault to handle your excess cash, money that you don't necessarily need for your daily living expenses. You don't want to fund your electricity and your food and groceries through the Vault. No, you want all of your excess profit to be stored inside of the Vault. That way you harness it, you capture it, you let it compound, and you never lose access to it. Your cash value is the overfunded portion of the policy, and it's what makes the Vault a financial fortress. This is your equity, money that grows tax-free, earns dividends, and is available for you to use without any sort of restrictions. And like I said, the most powerful part about the Vault concept is the ability for you to have access to a private line of credit. I want you to imagine a world where when you want capital, think about going into a bank. What you have to do, you have to sit in front of the banker and you have to fill out applications. You have to tell the banker why you want money. They get you approved. Then they tell you how you're gonna pay it back. And if you don't pay it back, there's penalties, there's interest, and they could even confiscate the assets that are used as collateral on your loan. None of that exists with a Vault loan. A Vault loan allows you to have a direct line of credit tied to your cash value. If you have $50,000 of cash value, well, my friends, you have a $50,000 private line of credit. You are in control 100%. You don't need to ask for permission, you don't need to fill out an application, and you don't need to set up a repayment schedule. You get to act and sort of function kind of like the banker. You determine how and when and at what pace you're going to pay it back. And as you pay back that line of credit, it just restores your ability to then borrow yet again. What this gives you the ability to do, my friends, is have your money dual compounding. What I mean by that is because you're not taking the money out of your policy when you use the line of credit, your money in the policy is going to continue to compound and grow every single year. But now, if you're using this line of credit strategically to buy other assets like real estate, you can leverage the value of your money and then go buy something else. Your money is literally working in two assets at the same time. My friends, this is the power of dual compounding, and this is the power of understanding how the Vault works and what your options are in the financial system. Now, this brings me to why most people have never heard of this concept. You might wonder, if it's so powerful, if this is such an amazing concept, why hasn't everyone ever told me about it? Well, here's the simple answer. It's banks. Banks have spent decades disparaging the strategy with slogans like buy term and invest the difference, or labeling whole life insurance as outdated and expensive. Why? Because every dollar that you put into the Vault is a dollar that now does not flow through their fractional reserve system. Banks rely on your deposits to fuel their profits. They loan out your money, they charge you fees, they make billions of dollars while keeping only a fraction in reserve. The Vault takes you and your money out of their equation, giving you control over your money without contributing to their bottom line. Now, my friends, when I first heard about the Vault, I couldn't believe it myself either. I felt like I was stepping into some form of an alternative reality and I was waiting for the punchline to come in. But as I researched it, I discovered that this strategy isn't just real, it's been used for centuries by some of the most successful people and institutions in the world. I'm just gonna give you just a couple of examples. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. These two individuals have used their policies to store billions of dollars in what the New York Times described as a tax loophole. It's not a tax loophole, it's a tax structure. The New York Times got it wrong, but you can see these two individuals, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates, are storing billions of dollars in these private accounts. Now here's the craziest part. Banks don't even keep their liquidity in banks. JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and over 3,800 US banks store billions of dollars in these accounts, and they have a standing order to buy as much as they're legally legally allowed to buy. If this doesn't raise a red flag, I don't know what does. Banks don't even trust banks to store their profits. So if this doesn't convince you, I don't know what does. So my friends, to wrap this up, the goal of the vault, it's not just to protect your money. It's about creating an entirely new financial system for yourself, a system often called the infinite banking strategy, because the possibilities of how you use this are endless. And once you understand how to leverage it, anything is possible for you. With the vault, you're not tied to banks anymore. Now, yes, you're still gonna use banks for your day-to-day groceries and lights and all of that kind of stuff, but you now have a place to secure the majority of your wealth that is completely outside of their control. This becomes your private fortress, your private contract that makes anything with your money possible. And this isn't just about making money, it's about keeping it, it's about growing it, it's about using it to build a life that you want, free from the risks of traditional banking. The vault, my friends, is the key to financial freedom and ultimately untouchable wealth. Don't wait until it's too late. Drop the comment below vault and we'll be in touch soon. My friends, thank you for watching this video. If you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit that subscribe button and stay in touch with all of the latest upcoming videos that I have for you.
Fearless.